What's happening, everyone? My name is Rose and welcome back to Dangit Grampa. So, Makoto, first I'd like to examine the corpses. Examine the corpses? I can't believe I'm hearing that from a girl the same age as me.
Correct.
Dead bodies don't lie, you know. They tell the truth far more easily than the living. Okay, yeah, I guess so.
Hey.
Wouldn't you agree? How am I supposed to answer that?
Anyway.
We have to hurry, before the clash trial begins again. Yeah, you're right. Okay then, show me where the bodies are. They're in, the repository. Then I guess we should head that way for now. It would be so dope if... I mean, I would say it would be so dope. It would also be very, very strange and creepy and scary all at the same time if we could actually see her just sort of like moving towards us behind us. That would be both cool, but also creepy. Anyway, where was the repository again? Like... third floor, right? Wait, third floor... Yes. And if I remember correctly, it's through the atrium. Yes. Hifumi and Taka. For a moment, Kyoko seemed to go rigid. But only for a moment.
So then...
Well then, let's get started, shall we? She crouched down next to Taka and without hesitation began poking and prodding the bodies. Without hesitation, huh?
I knew it.
Monaku and Mafar was right after all. They were killed using similar weapons. Her movements were so smooth, she was so calm. Seeing how comfortable she was actually made me feel a little more comfortable. I don't know if that's a good thing, Makoto. Because feeling comfortable around this... I mean, obviously you should technically be used to it by now because we've dealt with it like how many bloody times at this point, but to feel comfortable about it, I don't know if that's really a good thing. Okay, gonna talk to you again, Kyoko?
I see.
Makoto, I found something. You did?
Hey.
You remember the wrist... No? Do I? Am I supposed to? Do I remember that? He did?
Whew.
Are you so oblivious to people around you? Do you just like... Okay, Kyoko. I get that you're the observant one around here, but... cut me some fucking slack here. Other people are not as observant as you are, Kyoko. Funny enough. No, that's not it. Anyway, so you said he had the watch, right?
So then...
Take a look. It's broken. You can see the hands aren't moving, right? That's a very rough-looking clock. I can't even tell what time it is. It most likely broke when he had his encounter with his murderer. I don't know what I said it means. I guess it's like maneuverer, maybe? If you notice, the hands are frozen at just past 6 o'clock. Oh, actually, yeah, you can tell that because of the way it's placed, the top dash, the top part, which is near the wrist, I don't know, I don't even know what the fuck you call it. But okay, you can technically tell that it's past 6 o'clock. I just thought you couldn't tell because there's no numbers on it, but technically you can tell if you like really... Okay, so that would mean the watch was broken sometime just after 6? Yes.
That's right.
But last night, Taka's watch definitely wasn't broken. Hey, you! How long are you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. So he stared at his wristwatch whilst he was talking like that. Oh, because he's talking about waiting and looking at. Okay, that makes sense. It's almost 10 o'clock. You know that? That bedtime for the little boys and girls.
In other words,
So if it worked at 10 last night, it couldn't have been broken at 6 p.m. I mean, it must have. Yeah. Okay, so another clue? And that's not all. Look at Taka's left hand. Yes. There's something white in there.
Makoto.
Can you try and pry it open? Why me? You're literally already over his body, right? Why can't you do it? Me?
Because
Rigor mortis has already set in. Boys are better suit. Why is that, Kyoko? I mean, I don't think you're right about that, but sure. Okay. As much as I didn't really want to, I grasped Taka's cold hand. The ice cold hand was nearly enough to cause my heart to stop beating. After some effort, I was finally able to free the object from his tightly clenched fist. Yeah, I mean, I could technically tell it was a piece of paper. I mean, I thought it would be like a full. Although, it's scrunched up, and it kind of looks like a paper aeroplane. But okay, yeah, it's a piece of paper that's torn apart.
hey,
Was that all he had in his hand? Yeah. That's it. Just a little scrap of paper. Doesn't really seem like much of a clue, does it?
is that right?
I wonder about that. Because what if, for some strange reason, what if that's the note that HIRO was talking about? I mean, that seems like a little bit of a reach, but it's still a piece of paper. And though it could have also been the note that was given to him by HIRO, you know, to come meet everyone in the bathhouse. So it's a note regardless. But I feel like I'm a little bit reaching about HIRO's note. Kyoko then turned to Hifumi's body.
So then,
Let's check Hifumi's body now. Perhaps he's left us a few clues of his own. Okie dokie. Do I just click on you again? So, did you find anything?
indeed.
I did. More than I expected, to be honest. Look at this. A wad of paper. Never heard of a wad of paper, but okay.
That's right.
Had it hidden on him. Hidden?
Indeed.
He stuffed it in his pants, so I can only assume he hid it on purpose, you see? In his pants?
Why is that?
It was his pants, not like his socks or... Not gonna lie, where's his socks? I legit thought it had another word. And I'm so glad it didn't. I don't know what that means. I get that you were young. Like, I don't even know what age Makoto is supposed to be, but I feel like he's like, I don't know, sometime like under 16. I don't know why I'm thinking of that, but that's where my brain is going towards. I could be wrong for all I know, and I don't mind being wrong, but that's where my brain is going towards.
Hey,
Anyway, let's take a look at the paper. Go ahead, Makoto, open it up. When I think of how it was stuffed down his pants, it's like, just don't think about it. I mean, it's not as gross as you think it is. It better be important, Hifumi, or otherwise I'll never forgive you for this. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Yeah, okay. So it was the note. It was a note after all. But why was the note dispersed or split between two people, and Taka got the end of it, but Hifumi got the rest of it? That seems a bit strange. And whole. I mean, I've already read it.
So...
That sounds very familiar. It does, yes. That's it. It's the same thing Hiro said. At least he was telling the truth, which, I mean, I already knew about anyway.
However...
Although it's not exactly the same, is it? How so? Someone slipped a weird note under my door. Here's what it said. Found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find us, so don't tell... Wait, you know what, I did not actually read the following note properly, so I don't even know what the time said. Hiro told us that his note said 1 AM. 6? So... Huh. Wait. Oh my god. Hiro was going to be the next victim. That's the only conclusion I can take from this, because, well, Taka had this, 6 AM, he died at, well, his watch broke at around 6 AM, but he's also dead, so like, we can't get any more information about that, but Hiro got the same message, so from that, I conclude that he was potentially going to be the next victim, but because the killer can't kill more than 2 people, the killer has to frame it on someone, and because Hiro got this similar message, the killer is framing it on Hiro. I'm right? I'm right?
Is that right?
Hold on. Just because Hifumi had the note, doesn't mean it was meant for him. Huh?
So...
Part of it has been torn off, right? I think there's likely some meaning there. Some meaning to part of it being ripped. Could you maybe explain it? Look, I think this is very, very clear that I'm smarter than you. I mean, yeah, okay, I'm a little bit older than you, but I'm still smarter than you. Think carefully.
Hey.
Why would he have been clutching that scrap of paper so tightly? I have no idea.
So then...
What if it wasn't just a scrap of paper when he was holding it? What if it was something more important? And how would something important like that become a mere scrap of paper? That's what you need to answer. I'm not entirely sure what you're personally getting at here, Taka, but...
Hey.
And while we're at it, I should tell you one other thing. Is it finally going to be the thing that you should have told me, like, already? I mean, to be fair, I know for a fact she's not going to share that information. No matter how much we want her to, she's just not going to. The 2 victims this time definitely had their e-handbooks on them. Okay. So the handbooks have nothing to do with how the murders were carried out. Okay. Not that there's any reason to think they were connected to the killings in the first place, but... So you're saying I don't have to think about the handbooks this time, right?
Is that right?
If you didn't have to think about them at all, I wouldn't have gone out of my way to mention it. Okay, yeah, fair. All I said was that they weren't used to help carry out the murders. There may come a point, however, where a handbook may play a role. Because of course, a handbook may play a role. I don't think I understand. Well, we will understand in due time anyway. But if Kako thinks it's important, I better keep it in mind. Okie dokie. Wait, don't tell me the class trial is already here. Don't tell me.
Are you excited? Are you pumped? It's time for the class trial to begin!
What? Already?
Like the bright burst of fireworks, like the flash of a soul clashing with life and death. And so, with no further ado, everyone please meet at the usual spot. Make your way to the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It would seem...
That, I'm sorry, but like this whole, the time of investigation was much shorter this time. What the fuck? It's unfortunate, but I suppose this is where our investigation comes to an end. You'll have to figure out the rest for yourself, and come to the proper conclusion. Yeah. I guess you're right.
Shall we go?
Yeah, I suppose. Okay. I was genuinely not expecting the class trial to, like, begin so soon. But at least we kind of know that, like, chapter 3 is almost at an end, even though the class trial is around, like, 2 or so hours long, which obviously I'm not going to be doing the whole thing all in one again. Like, I've learned from my mistake. I'm just so flabbergasted that the investigation... It feels like the investigation did not take long at all. Is that why people didn't like this chapter so much? Because the main reason why I'm getting through this game is, one, because I am enjoying it, otherwise I wouldn't be playing more of it. 2, I've been intrigued as to why people either like this chapter so much or despise this chapter so much, and when it comes to chapter 3, I've heard a lot of negative opinions or negative emotions towards it, and I've been curious why, because chapter 2 definitely was not my favourite. Apparently it's people's favourite. I might ask people why it's their favourite, but I personally have my own issues with chapter 2. But so far chapter 3, I'm a little bit nonchalant about it, because I neither like it nor dislike it. It's just like it exists, and I don't know, it kind of feels like filler, even though obviously it's not, it's part of the main story, part of the main plot, but it feels like nothing has happened, even though things have been happening. It just, I don't know, it's, chapter 3 is a weird one with me. But anyway, let's usually I would start off the video with the class trial, but I guess we're not doing that this time. But let's go into the class trial finally. And here we all are once again. Everyone had heard Monokuma's... Yep, we're gonna have this dialogue once again.
Monokuma appears!
I am severely disturbed by this on so many levels. Hello? Hello? That just reminds me. Hello? I'm recording this message for you to get you settled in on your first night. He's multiplied?
Wrong.
No, not multiplication. It just looked that way because of an illusion. I'm moving so fast it... Wait, so are you the Flash? Are you secretly the Flash and you're using something that I learned from the Flash called a speed mirage or something, when you move so fast that you create 2 images of yourself? Okay. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma? I'm gonna say that both of you are the real one because you know there's been more than one real one before. One's been destroyed and another one's come up, so you're all the real one. Can we just get on the elevator already? Yeah, none of us are having any of it.
Boy, tough crowd.
You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you.
Okay.
I gotta admit though, this sequence was pretty hilarious. And if everyone's here and ready to go, please board the pain train, elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
Please!
I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
You've never been mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, hero. You gotta pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I already told you, I didn't do it for serious. For real, man. That reminds me, did you ever find the other costume with the notes? Well, no, but... How unfortunate. Then it would seem we have our culprit.
Hey,
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get into the courtroom, please.
That's right.
Let's get down there first. Then the story can really unfold. Yeah, good idea. That's right, I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Hirofumi get away with it. For everyone who's still alive. And for the two that lost their lives. I gotta admit, I actually have no idea who it could possibly be, because my first thoughts were Taka, because he clearly had an issue with Hifumi and then found out that he died as well. So I mean, obviously it wasn't HIRO, it wasn't, but because like the only other person I can think of is Kyoko. Because again, we don't know what's happened to her. Hopefully this gets unfolded during this class trial, like hopefully. But we'll see. You know, usually we just talk to them before we go in, but there's not really much. Actually, no, should we just talk to them? You know, just for old sake. It wasn't me, you gotta believe me. Were you listening? Wait till we get to the courtroom.
Damn.
I don't have Monogame's carefree attitude. I mean, who does?
just the worst.
Let's hurry up and go so we can make him pay for his crimes. It would appear the culprit has been confirmed. The trial will be over in no time.
Hey,
The story begins when we get down there.
Yes.
I forgot, yeah, I'm not actually speaking now with her dialogue. Even though it's not dialogue that's wrong to speak out or inappropriate to speak out. I'm just not a big fan of Genocide Jill in general. Also, I apologize if I am just like skipping past the dialogue. It's almost the exact same as what we've seen before. So like, there's no point in just repeating the dialogue over and over and over and over and over again. When I see all you gathered together like this, I just realized how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
just the worst.
Because of you. Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other? Have you not caught on yet, HIRO? I mean, you should know why by now.
What?
You really hate me so much, but I'm... Stop giving around and begin the fucking trial already. Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. It would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed crash trial after the commercial break. I never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. Yeah. Do you want to save the data? I mean, yes. Okay, so set skills. So extraordinary focus costs 2. I mean, we've got enough SP available still, so it's fine. So yeah, let's just finish the preparations and get on with this bitch.
Now then, to begin with,
We already know who did it.
was that?
Just imagine if the class trial was over just because of this. Just imagine that. There's absolutely no way. It's not as simple as that. But just imagine that.
It was HIRO. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, HIRO, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
I mean, to be fair, at first I did think that he, for some reason, maybe he had a little bit of a hobby to... But then again, he wants to escape, so... I mean, I guess you could say that he had a little bit of a hobby to buy the time, or to kill the time, until he's able to escape. But still, I don't. Again, I do believe that he's just being framed.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, I don't know!
Is HIRO really the killer? Or... Before anything else, we have to make that clear. Okay. Oh, yeah, the message.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
HIRO, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
I mean, looking at the blueprints, that handwriting is awful. If I remember right, HIRO's handwriting is...
Everything we found in your room.
Yeah, I didn't think that would work, because I'm not going against the whole room because it was in his room, but I couldn't find anything else. Unless, wait, do I have to like, wait, hang on. So wait, focus gauge, concentration, space key, okay, so fast forward, okay. Truth bullet flashback, if you target a weak spot and hold, yes, okay, so let's try that. Okay, try that.
The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
Okay.
The blueprints, the suit...
Oh wait, what the fuck?
No, that's wrong.
Blueprints? Okay,
Are we sure HIRO really made those blueprints?
right, yeah, of course, yeah. I don't know why I didn't go for that one in the first place. Because I was waiting for something else to pop up, and nothing else was popping up, and then I completely forgot that the blueprints was there, so... My bad.
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that HIRO wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, Are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
I mean, okay. I'm glad Baku is on my side.
What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course wait, do we actually know?
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The suspicious... I'm so sorry for laughing. Never did I ever think I would actually see an art. It better be a chance. But no, I think it's Hiro. But we're saying that Hiro wasn't in... Wait.
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been.
I mean, we didn't exactly have much of a comparison to who can fit in the suit because, like, we only tried on like 1 or 2 people, so... Oh, sorry, one or two other people other than Hiro, so...
Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
It was...
I got it!
the dolly. There's still one more thing. The things that were used to move Taka's body, they must have been... blue top.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What kind of response is that, Bakuyo? What the What's the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right?
Yes.
But are you sure you are not mistaken?
I'm sure.
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
WTF, Celeste. What the fuck has this gotten into you? What is this slander? What the fuck? I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. Maybe I can change her mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved. New element has been added to the... Okay? Let's talk about... When we talk about bullets, let's talk about reloading, sure, okay. Starting with the next bullet time battle, we're going to add one more ingredient to the recipe. Oh, of course you do. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you will see your ammo count. Okay. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how many you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the left mouse button won't be enough to handle them. I mean, I'm going to use one bullet most of the time, so this won't even be much of an issue for me. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Okay. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the tab. I thought pressing the tab... Okay. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the tab key in time with the temp. Okay. Basically, just remember that the tab key now has a function along with R&B. Wait. Okay, you will automatically reload at the start of fever time. Oh wait, bullet time back. Oh. I just realized what we're talking about now. So wait. You know what, let's just try this out for the first time anyway. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to... Once again. You know what, when reading all of this, I was wondering, is this all going to be refuted just because I'm on gentle? Okay, maybe... I do sometimes wonder if being on gentle is a little too easy on me. But then again, I don't want it to be too challenging either, and I feel like if I had it raised above, I would make it a bit too... Then again, I do like a little bit of a challenge sometimes. I want to at least try it out. So, I guess once I'm done with this game, I might replay it in my own time and then like actually try out the higher difficulties and then challenge myself with it just to see how I go with it. But because I'm, you know, recording it, I feel like I'm fine with just gentle. So I'm just fine with this. Okay. In which case you can ignore it. Aye, Captain. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay, so bullet time battle.
You had it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree.
Oh. I just realized she's the killer, isn't she? She's the killer. No. No, she can't be though. Wait.
I cannot agree. You are a fool.
Am I negative? What does that mean?
Lies will get you nowhere. Do
Okay.
your worst. Away with you.
Oh.
You miserable wretch. I cannot agree.
This whole thing is like really confusing. Final strike, okay?
I cannot agree.
This should prove it. If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here.
Right, first of all, whilst it's nice to have like the added tempo thing, it also makes the whole thing confusing because like it says I can just like fire whenever I want whilst I have tempo enabled, but then I think it has like a bit of a cooldown, but then I don't know when the cooldown ends for me to carry on with the tempo. So whilst the bullet time battle gets less confusing, it also gets a little bit more confusing. So, but anyway,
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jesus, so that's really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
Well, it's a robot. And it's colourful. I mean, I don't exactly know what that has to do with anything. But
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
if I look at how the body was moved, it will become clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? What, you mean using the tarp? Using the dolly? Robo Justice costume. I'm a bit confused about this.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Oh wait, no.
And from there,
Oh wow.
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Wait.
Well, yeah.
Keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Wait. I mean, the dolly does have a handle though.
But even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
Oh.
Then you can push the dolly, no problem.
It's about
through the
bending
cage
over,
and
right?
carry the body up. All you'd have to do is bend over.
Finally.
No, that's
Yes, there we go.
wrong. You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low.
Right, before absolutely anything though, I'm going to save my game. And I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Now that I know you're able to save your game, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Alright everyone, we are back. So yeah, Makoto is saying you're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. Okay.
But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together, remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me, man. And not to mention, you totally can bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist.
So yeah, it does actually make sense that the robo suit has nothing to do with the dolly then. You know what? Never noticed that, but okay.
Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
I mean, you can't exactly guide it. It'll be much harder to guide with just your feet.
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible, Genocide Jill. I would just say that it's highly unlikely.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance that the costume was taken off just to move the body because, you can't take it off by yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
I mean, I wouldn't say putting it on is impossible without help. It's just taking it off. That's kind of what we've clarified here. Because I don't think we've fully clarified that putting on the suit is impossible without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hiro wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Right.
You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
Oh yeah, Hero. But let's see how this unfolds. How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo-Justice. What I call him?
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
You are kind of, I mean, because you don't really have any evidence to back up whatever thinking you might have. This is the closest thing that you have to latch on to. So of course you would agree with such thing.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Yeah, this is where critical thinking comes into place.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I mean, so are you.
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
I mean, yeah, so I suppose so.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then. Let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, we waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up. That was around 8 a.m.
No, that was around 7 a.m., wasn't it not?
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Oh, no. Well, we got there at 7 a.m. and then waited an hour and then... Yeah.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume.
So technically this part of the Clash trial is literally just recapping once again, just to make sure we haven't missed anything. And technically I've recapped with Sakura before, but now we're recapping once again, and I think if this is possibly the reason why people don't really like Chapter 3, I can understand why, but yeah, I have yet to find out why people don't like Chapter 3.
As
So,
it
okay.
turns out, it also soon became... We were soon joined in our search by he was injured.
Soon after.
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
But the question that was displayed was how did you see Robo costume on that floor, but also be on the 1st floor at the same time? So, in conclusion, that would mean 2 Robo costumes, right? The thing is, why is it that with this class trial, we're getting a recap, but with every other class trial, we've not needed a recap? Like, why? That's what's kind of perplexing me right now. Like, why? Are people that stunted in this class trial that you need to recap to make sure that you're not missing anything? I'm really, really confused by this.
I think that about covers it.
Are we at the end of the recap?
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
Just a little, yeah.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation.
Right.
And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them.
Okay.
Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions have hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. I don't actually know what's happening this time. Monokuma wait, okay, I can't pause right now.
So...
Okay, but, like, Monokuma file is literally the same as... So, we're talking about Taka. Yeah, the Monokuma file says that they were killed the exact same way, so I don't know what... I mean, okay, we'll see where this goes, but... So, regarding Taka's death...
I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Wait... Is that the one? No, okay, I just wanted to try it.
Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See?
Yeah, it's gonna be the Justice... It's gonna be the numbering then.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
There we go. Then what else do you want me to do, game?
We already know what order they were killed in.
And I've got to take that, and then...
What makes you say that?
Do numbering?
Because of the numbering of the
Is that
Justice...
right?
No!
Oh, okay.
There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
First of all, one thing I don't like about these different mechanics is that you do have to figure out when to use them. I wish there was like a bit of an obvious path to which to use them. I mean, obviously you do need to think for yourself, like you do need to do that on occasion, but there was nothing really there to tell me that, oh, you needed to... I don't know why you need to use the whole, like, flashback bullet thing. That whole mechanic seemed just a bit weird to me. But maybe that's just a me thing, I have no idea. But I find the whole, like, flashback bullet thing to be a bit of a weird mechanic. But anyway.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay then.
Maybe.
Let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that... Oh, yeah, the note. Of course. Hangman's... Oh, right, okay. Okay, that's a really long word. Okay, so that was a minute. Immediately? Oh, okay, I think it's because I only had like one life left and that's why. Okay, so... Okay, wait. Miss. What am I trying to spell? Wristwatch. Fucking. I'm sorry, but that was the way it was spelled. It was so badly.
Now I understand. I've got it. Taka's wristwatch.
I really wish they just, I don't know, kept it. Because the way that the spelling was doing it, it was like right. Because I thought I thought the whole hangman thing was going for the writing rather than the wrist. But no, it does make sense. I just okay. My fault as usual. It's not the game's fault. It's my fault.
See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
Yeah.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
Which is interesting. So what was the killer doing all of that time upstairs? Interesting.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window.
That's a good... Well... Yes, for Taka, yes, but not for Hifumi.
Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
Well, not Kyoko's yet, and neither Hiro's technically either.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
I feel like they've got it mixed around, or maybe I'm having it mixed around in my head. I don't know, but okay. Huh? What was that? Wait. We're recapping this part again? Really?
Then we all ran down to the nurse's office.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
I mean, that's an interesting perspective.
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
Why are you saying all of us? You're accounting for both Coco and HIRO, when that's just certainly not true. Once again, Sakura.
And it does not stop there. We were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Yeah, as Taka, of course.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, HIRO and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles.
You're also kind of avoiding the fact that your alibi is not quite there yet, because we still don't know what happened to you, and you're still on the verge of avoiding that, unfortunately.
So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
I mean, obviously, the dolly... Yes, the dolly and maybe the top. I'm not entirely sure, but definitely the dolly, and obviously not within the suit.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said...
Here we go, now for another recap. We couldn't have gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then the killer would be able to get in and out in a short amount of time. It would seem so.
His body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Do tell?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Are you being for real right now? Okay, I can accept AI computers. I'm not willing to accept fucking zombies, okay? Okay, technically not zombies, but... Okay... Huh?
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
So... So what you're saying is he was just merely unconscious?
He was... alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
Thing is though, okay, you became unconscious, and then within the exact time frame when nobody is looking, you become conscious and then leave to go to that specific room. And then become unconscious again, and then because of the teardrop from Hina, you become conscious. No, what? As Coco said already, this is getting even more complicated than it needs to be, like, okay.
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive is really possible. So we're doing the broken... Okay.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it
Whoops.
is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I mean, it could be... It could be the last one, maybe.
Maybe
The announcement was intended to signal someone else's
try this one?
discovery.
Okay, so I was wrong. Here's the thing, do I have to do another flashback? Do I have to do another flashback bullet? Because there's just no way for me to tell what I need to use to do this. Like, there's just no... I wish that the game sort of gave me a hint as to what I need to do to continue on, but the fact that it just like gives you all of the control and you have to just figure it out all yourself. Okay, well...
There's a chance he was actually
Still alive.
I could try that?
No,
I don't know.
maybe the
Announcement was intended to signal someone else's
discovery.
Hifumi's
dead body had been found.
Right, is that one? Okay.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
So what I did was, the very last thing that happened at the end of what was being said was like someone else's discovery. I picked on that. Thing is, I didn't realize you can take someone's because we can take what someone said and put it into like a bullet time memory flashback. I didn't realize that it kept it when cycling back through it. It's just, again, these mechanics are so confusing, and the game, I mean, unless maybe, actually, you know what? I'm gonna find out something. Okay, so wait. Oh my god, it doesn't even tell you now, does it? It doesn't. Oh my god, that's so annoying. You want to find out the information about the flashbacks, and yet it doesn't even tell you now because you're in dialogue form. Oh, that is annoying.
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
And to be fair, we didn't actually get an announcement for both bodies, only one body, right?
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
But the announcement only happens when more than one or two people are present to witness the murder, I think?
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two announcements.
Yeah.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
No, I don't think that's the case.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
3 or more people, yeah, so more than 2 people, basically.
That didn't answer our question, man. We were asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Wait, what? Wait, it was?
Huh? Later on?
I actually don't remember if it was announced twice.
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Wait, we did? I actually don't, I actually don't remember that. I genuinely remember only it happening once. I'm definitely misremembering things. Second body discovery announcement. The first time I played was when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. And the second time was when... Oh, wait. Oh! When both bodies were rediscovered, right?
I got it!
Yeah.
We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the two bodies.
Oh, that's interesting. After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, yeah.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
Yes.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
Wow.
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
I'm kind of celeste on this one. That has to be proof we're still alive. Have to finish. I mean, I'll be honest, what kind of proof do we have? How is... I mean, okay.
Well, here's one thing we do know.
It's all cleaned up, yeah.
The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned...
Wait. Try that. No, okay.
There was no notable difference.
Oh, it's because I missed this, right? I had to wait 1 fucking second. Are you fucking for real?
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
I will admit the glasses was a little bit suspicious. Though to be fair, I didn't really think much of it.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
Oh, here we go again.
I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Uh-huh. Evidence of... Right. Glasses, yeah.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was... Princess...
Yeah.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
LOL.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
Okay.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Okay.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
I mean, if you're playing dead, you want to make sure that it looks legit, right? I mean, is he really that obsessive over how his glasses is that he would... I mean, I suppose so.
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet.
Wait, I'm just wondering, what if Hifumi is the one that killed Taka, but because he didn't want to be found out, he played dead? Which kind of makes sense, but now I'm wondering who actually did kill both of them.
And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
I mean, yeah, he's a little bit of an idiot.
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
The one who moved Taka's was Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside.
So Hifumi was preparing the whole thing, and I guess he was too ashamed, so I guess he killed himself?
Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
One.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, the note. Right, where is it? Note Hifumi had.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his
Really? We're doing this again?
pants?
Yes, his pants.
What do they have against pants? It's somewhere to store items in? What?
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about this, but why did the writers put this in? I'm sorry, but I just find that so strange. I found a hole. Maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. But Monokuma's about to find out now, isn't he? For fuck's sakes. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 AM. I still wonder who that could possibly be, though.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
You literally just said that it's not the same. And now you're questioning that it's not...
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
What the hell is... Taka.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
No. Join our Taka.
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is...
Yeah.
Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Genocide shit is serious and scary, but still. I can't let her get to me. Oh, here we go again for the arguments. Broken wristwatch, Hifumi's glasses, Engler. Okay. Wait, can I choose then?
The note, right?
I can. Okay, oh my god.
Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
Can you stop with the...
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
I don't even know what to do with this part. The time on the note said 6 a.m. What happened at 6 a.m.? That's what I need to clear up. Okay.
Must have been Huffy!
Oh wait, the broken wristwatch, right? Yes. Oh, come on, man.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Right, there we go, okay. I've got to admit, the spinning sentences really distracted me.
There absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me.
And you would have been the next victim.
The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they'd found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Stole the note. Well, I mean, it was literally in Hifumi's hand. So the note Hifumi had. That's something that he had. Wait. But that's the proof, right? I mean, maybe Taka's scrap piece of paper, maybe? I don't think this is gonna be it either, but...
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
I mean, okay, yes, I mean, yeah, that does add to it.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup. They're from the same piece of...
Yeah.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small There's only one way to explain.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only what? Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead.
No, he wasn't, because he came back alive.
The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the...
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Wow.
Who are you
Okay.
calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
Good point.
But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours.
Wow,
after all.
Bakuya, wow.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Weapon that was used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. I have to find the truth. Okay. Spotless hammer. Oh yeah, that was... Oh yeah.
How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear.
Okay, that was funny.
It had to be one of the Justice
Wait.
Hammers.
Right? Yes!
The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
It was a spotless hammer, yes. Also, I'm going to save my game right here, because I'm going to take a break, because it's been an hour, so I will see you guys all in a second. Alright everybody, we are now back. The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all, no, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder.
What? So you're saying that the other hammers were just for show?
If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off.
Oh yeah, and it would clean up all of the paint, yeah.
I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones.
Wait, hang on, wait. So, I suppose the reason why that hammer is like completely like clean is because it was used to kill. But the other ones were just there for show, maybe.
And even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Yes.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
I mean, yeah, whilst there may not be any true benefit out of working together, it doesn't really stop someone from working together if maybe they were promised an escape, maybe? We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... Oh, here we go again. Spoiler's hammer. Okay.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however,
There
Wait.
were 2 murders.
Okay, I thought that would work, but I don't really know. I suppose I can use the flashback bullets to get the impossible and then the 2 murders. But I don't know.
Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible.
in this case, however,
There were 2 murders.
Okay, so apparently that was not the case.
in this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Assuming the rule holds true.
Okay, so yeah.
That's wrong.
I had to get the last thing said, use that in a bit of time.
Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
I had to use that again. So basically, I had to use the last word against the first word highlighted. Okay, so yeah, since there were 2 murders, it's at least one person involved, yeah.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
Yeah, I suppose.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
Huh.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
Well, as Monokuma said, the next motivation was money, so that would have been their motivation, apparently.
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two motives were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Hiroko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely. Hiroko really is amazing. Although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Makoto might actually be in love. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
Chukura manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debates up until now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all of that, there's only one person who seems to fit. Who? I mean, I don't know. Like, this entire time, I don't know who it could possibly be. And I mean, other times I had a suspicion. I mean, with chapter 2, I had a bit. Well, it was a bit more difficult, but I didn't even suspect it was Mondo. But I have a feeling I'm most likely going to get this completely wrong, which. I mean, I don't want to say Kaoko, but she's the only one that we don't know what happened. Celeste's part of this, though, sort of, so I'm gonna get this completely wrong.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Okay, I was definitely not expecting that.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
I need to find out the reasoning for this now, because I mean, she is part of this, but okay, maybe the reason why she was able to take a photo of it was because they let her take a photo of it. So maybe this whole thing was just what's the word? I'm just wondering if this whole thing was like a diversion or something, or you know, nothing is what it actually seems, that sort of thing. Which I mean, obviously I took things at face value. I mean, what else are you supposed to do in that situation? But okay.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
I think it's pretty evident that she killed him.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you.
Okay.
Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
The screaming, right? Wait, what? Apparently not. I mean, it's definitely not Hifumi's pants. Like, no. So, encountering this... I suppose it's because they both encountered these suspicious individual. That's why they've... I suppose that makes sense, because then again, nobody else encountered the individual, and only the... Yeah, okay, no, that does actually make sense now.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
WTF?
Sorry.
Byakuya, if I was there right now, I would have slapped you around in the face, because that is not the attitude that we need right now.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual.
So you shut me up only to just repeat what I just said. Yeah, okay.
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct?
She put us on a wild goose chase while she was carrying out this deed. Okay.
And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
Saw a shadow.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
What's wrong? Intending to scream for someone like you. Right. All making sense now.
It was time for her partner to get to work.
What was that? Came from downstairs, must have been. Hifumi is in the nurse's office. This is bad, come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up. Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
Considering I wasn't expecting this. So I imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I mean, then again, you could have literally said that to anyone else and it would have been the exact same. Like, you could have put that dialogue onto, like, Hina or... and it would have been the exact same. So... well, then again, I don't... okay.
I don't believe it! Everything! The whole thing was one big act!
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Of course.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I
Yeah.
don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
True?
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
Yeah, me for real.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
That comment doesn't make sense. But what is he alluding to? Okay, another argument. What? Again? I feel like this has gone for far too long, once again.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused.
Wait,
They must
us?
be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
Oh! That one. Or fucking not.
Just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I guess the so strange part, when she said that she should only have known about Hifumi's death. I suppose it's the so strange part then, right? I suppose we use
Just
this,
like
those guys, and then...
And that is all.
And that's all it takes. What
Was so
strange,
about
right?
Celeste's comment?
Really?
What was
So strange about Celeste's comment?
We are going to die.
Just like...
Okay, we got it.
it's wrong.
We got it. It's always the first, it's always the last thing said versus something
right.
else.
There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys?
I mean, then again, guys is neutral. It doesn't mean both boys. It could mean either or. But of course, because of this universe, it's treating guys as actual guys rather than it being fucking neutral, fucking course.
Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
You, that all was allowed to happen.
How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is are dancing, right? Well, actually, is this the case? Please don't tell me it's Hifumi dragging the suspect. Don't.
I got it!
Are you fucking for real?
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
It feels like what?
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit.
How are you even able to fucking... Oh, you know what? No, it actually makes sense. But, here's the thing though. You can take this either two ways. And, I mean, I both hate that because, you know, it really does complicate things, like trying to solve it. But you can literally take that two different ways. Either as Hifumi panicking, like being scared for his life and sweating, or as Hifumi dragging and sweating. Oh my god, I've got to admit, that was a bit clever how they did that.
We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Wow. Look at this, like, expert or intelligent person, eh? So that's things you can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. Is that really possible? Okay, we've got 3 of these, but how many more are we gonna have? This has been like, I don't know, 7 or 8 at this point. This is ridiculously long.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out!
Like, I get that, you know, these class trials are, like, really long, but they're getting exceedingly long to the point where just... It feels like it's dragging, and it feels like there's so much padding. But yes, okay, this is a very, very old game. Not that old, but it's a very old game. But goodness me, you can definitely feel how much this is dragging and dragging. It's like you want to just move to the next point, right? But it feels like it's like staggering, and then we're going on into like many different tangents, different directions, and we're just like, again, we're staggering and not getting onto the point. And it's just, it's infuriating, but okay. Also, I'm assuming there's going to be the last thing said, right? And I have to use another flashback bullet here, right? Then again, we've got these bullets, so maybe we don't need to have like a flashback bullet. If I remember right, Hina said, she said that she couldn't bend at the waist.
You
dressed me up in that
Okay.
suit after I...
If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they
Oh,
could
wait.
stand up straight.
Oh, stand up. Right. Okay.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Yeah.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Oh dear.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Of course she's gonna do that again.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us?
Yeah. But here's the thing, because I mean, actually, how did Hifumi? Well, why did Hifumi say that? Unless he was told to say. Oh no, because like he was still in on it, right? Maybe.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
Then again, they wanted to frame it onto someone else. That was the whole idea.
He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro.
Wait! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually... Taro!
Huh?
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
I mean, he did say for serious a lot, but I actually have no idea. Oh, are we talking about Hifumi or are we talking about Hiro? Oh yeah, Hifumi always said last names, yes.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his
I don't think that's the
name.
case.
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal, but he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say?
Wait. She has said like either Celeste or Celestia, something Berg, right?
To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
Yeah, you kinda do.
Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia
Oh yeah, Ludenberg, yeah.
Could you please stop making me repeat myself?
Celeste won't give up. But here's the thing, how would you know that that's not her real name? How How would you even come to that conclusion? I have to do something to make her accept it. Wait, the tempo? Another argument. Oh, the e-handbook. Aha.
My name is Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
Okay.
How long?
That's so upside down.
And since you have no way
Wait.
to contradict me,
Wait. Yep, the handbook. This one I knew about. That's cool though.
That's it! The handbook!
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right?
Just like how it showed up the real gender of CH3.
Monokuma told us all about it.
Handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Anyways, make sure you have the right one. Yeah.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that's how we can find out Celeste.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Well, if you weren't the murderer, then you would be like, yeah, take a look all you want. But yeah, this is obvious behavior.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because
Oh dear.
because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again.
Oh, okay, here we go for the comic. Right, okay. So this is actually the final part of the class trial, right? And it's taken like about 3 hours. Well, actually, not really. Well, it's taken 3 hours at least, in my opinion. But, right, okay, so... what even is Hifumi's face right there? What the fuck? Right, okay, so... in this case, how did the killer recruit their accomplice? Was it seduction? Recruit... Wait, okay, you know what, let's just go for process of elimination first. So, what time did the killers call their victim to the rec room? Yep, that one goes there. And who was it that the killers summoned first? HIRO? Wait, maybe? Okay. They knocked him out, then stuffed him in the Robo Justice suit to falsify. Then they used certain item to do it. Oh! Certain item. Wait, what? Wait, hang on. They knocked him out. Oh, knocked him out. Right. So, there would be Justice Hammer 2, right? It's gotta be. And this one? What time was Taka supposed to head to the... Aha, so that was... Oh wait, oh shit, but that looks like... Oh my god, that looks like 7 o'clock to me because of the way it's angled, but no, that's 6 o'clock, right, I've gotta get back that, right, okay. Take that back, and then put that here. So then, the time... Rec room. That's this one, yes. Okay. So now, the Justice Hammer that was used to kill Taka, what number was it? 4. Yes. Wait, no. I mean, it was 4, right? Yeah. In the library, Hifumi used something to fake the existence of a, shadowy, yep. So that was, okay, that one, that. Which Justice Hammer was in the nurse's office when Hifumi was pretending to be dead. That was number 3, I believe. Yeah. And Hifumi used something to move Taka's body. That was... Well, oh. Yeah, top. And then, the weapon the killer used to murder Hifumi, what was it? This one. So now, It's just this one, right? So what was this? In this case, how did the killer recruit their accomplice? Was it seduction? It just says Hifumi. But okay, I mean, I guess that's fine. Okay, well, let's reenact.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
But then again, why would Hifumi go along with it? That's my question. I mean, obviously he's not here to answer that question, but why would it go along with it? Unless it was down to money, right? It has to be.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was HIRO. The murderous duo intended to pass HIRO off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the robot.
No, I didn't lay out my reasoning. I need to rewrite. Huh?
Much later.
Oh.
Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo Justice was attacking him.
I thought that happened later. Okay.
While the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on HIRO.
Okay.
When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did.
I swear to God, with this whole thing, it makes it sound like it's clever, but it's actually complicating so many things in the case. It just boggles my mind.
We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Right. Okay.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
That's kind of what it feels like this game is doing, kind of dragging on.
Interesting.
Okay. My goodness me, that felt like it took forever to get here. I'm glad it wasn't Kyoko. I still don't know what Kyoko's deal is and why she won't tell anyone what she's been up to. I mean, obviously, that kind of confirms that she is possibly the spy and that's why she won't say anything, but I'm just glad that she was not the person behind this. I'm just so glad about that. Thank you.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
I love the voice actor of Monokuma. I love him. Or her. I have no idea who voices it, but... Okay. Obviously. Like, obviously.
What?
It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. I mean, if we weren't correct, like, you wouldn't even be doing the sort of voting thing, and then, like, I would be immediately the one that gets voted, and then I would die, so it's either me or the killer. The black in this time, the true killer who defies the hosting in this game was... Celestia, or more precisely, Taiko.
Honestly.
Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. But why would they agree though? That's why I'm a bit lost. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have... Yeah, exactly. I'm sure she relied on her special lying. I suppose. My specialty? That didn't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
Then, did you use, you know? I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. So get Hifumi to act as my accomplice.
Indeed.
Chihiro, right? Oh, of course. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Say what?
I love how Monica missed the outlining of this.
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation. You go, girl. I'm totally. Oh my god, that's hilarious though.
In other words,
You're the one that stole it, right?
Indeed.
You know, like, if you couldn't tell everyone, I've never been a fan of Celeste. I never really liked her. Especially because, like, she reminds me, not 100% of Byakuya, but her characteristic is her personality is very similar to Byakuya. Which is why, yeah, never liked her, which is why I never went towards the opportunity of even playing with her in... why did I do that? That makes it sound so wrong. Playing with her in the rec room, you know, by playing board games like she wanted us to anyway. And you used it to drag Hifumi, yep. Right again? Last night after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually...
I was hoping I could talk to you alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What? Are you okay with this?
So yeah, you basically did lie then.
So then...
Now proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what's to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the pictures as soon as I had shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You're correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it. Right.
Say what?
As for me...
He threatened me.
Oh,
As for me...
It's just so funny how, like, he's acting this way when he was also kind of a little bit into Celeste, which I don't know how, but it all makes sense. He abused me.
What?
And he took photos. He said if I did not do it as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
Absolute crime. I mean, I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but...
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life.
Completely unforgivable!
Going to kill him. Because of how obsessed he is over a computer or an AI on a oh my god.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please, if you go now, you will be playing right into his hands.
Actually...
Taka's planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
What?
Escape, you don't mean... Taka's going to try and kill you.
Indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. That bastard.
Honestly.
Okay. Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not, how could I?
I swear I will save her!
Actually...
Would you like to join with me? It just so happens I've come up with a plan. If I was a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. Honestly, I know that nobody would ever think I would ever say this, but I'm kind of glad that she's going to be the Black One because I just, yeah, absolutely hated her character. Which is, I think that is the whole point of this game with some of the characters. Like, you have characters that you're gonna like, then you're gonna have characters that you're going to despise. And I think the more characters you despise are the ones that you're like rooting for their for their death, rather than being emotional over it. But despite, you know, they're an actual living human being with value and stuff like that, but oh god. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. If we agreed with our second thought, the effect that Adam, yeah, the power of love, even the love as it can still drive people mad, it would seem. Love can make you go blind sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. You disgust me, man.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But...
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you... That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad you're still... Yeah, I'm so glad that she's gonna die. Sorry about that, but... Life must have been tough on your parents, though.
Well.
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him being playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that? Assuming you had actually let him live.
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, when someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. Really believe that? Of course, that wasn't all there is to it. As I explained to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody would doubt him, told him that and believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate us up. Of course he did. He believed the lie wholeheartedly.
So in the end...
So you planned to kill him all along? Is it because the Hifumi is stupid as well? Which, I mean, to be fair, I would kind of agree with. But is that also... well, I mean, you've had a problem with Hifumi for a very long time. But then again, so did Toko. I mean, to be fair, all of us had a bit of an issue with Hifumi. There would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well...
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Yep. Exactly what I said before as well. You sound like Barakuya.
I wonder about that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we're not... Sure, okay. Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monica offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. That's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But...
All along you've been saying how we have to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Obviously that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. Every single thing about her character feels like a complete lie. I mean, even her name was a lie. Wasn't anyone else in here?
You little bitch!
Yeah, you are a little bitch. I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why, huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there's no way out. There was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me...
And it was all for that dream. And... what was this dream of yours?
Isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. Castle? And to gather handsome men from all... Okay. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my... Okay.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life, that was only my only dream, my only goal. That's what my life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monaco's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but...
There is nothing to be done.
Unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh.
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavour. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
Do you understand?
That is all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Feels like, power, sacrificing human life for your own gain. Power. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Then you realise you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people, I can even form my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. She is completely... She's way too far gone. Way too far gone. But if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then...
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey!
You just get executed again. She's twisted as fuck. When she did it, she looked at me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that in itself must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills, chills, kills!
You all done? Okay, let's get rolling. The blackened disturbed the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment!
For her? Yeah, so why didn't you finish the... Why? The ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
17. This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way.
Damn, her voice really changed.
Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone.
Wait. Like, before she changed into this sort of voice, she had that sort of, that sort of voice that, I guess you would call it stereotypical with, like, foreign, like, I don't want to say Asian people because that sounds a bit, like, racist, but, like, people, I guess, around that area. I don't know what accent she was using, but it was an accent that's, again, I don't want to say stereotypical, so I don't even know if it's that, so, like, correct me if I'm wrong about that, but the voice that she was using was like a certain type of voice, but now she's using this very different voice. I don't know why, but it sounds more authentic to her rather than the other one. I know that doesn't really make much sense. Maybe it does, I don't know. But that's at least my perspective of this. It's like the voice that she put on was obviously a lying voice. And somehow I kind of picked up on that quite a while ago. I just never really made a comment on it because it didn't really click into place. But it felt like a voice being put on rather than an authentic voice. I'm not here to say that accents are fake voices. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that the voice that she was putting on was fake, which obviously connected her to all of the lies she proposed onto us. So
Perhaps we'll meet again in another life.
Also, we have seen this sort of screen before. Oh, okay. I just don't ever remember it. Castle. Okay, that's an interesting choice. The banner of the Versailles Witch. I've got to admit, I love these animations. These animations are just like top tier. I fucking love them. Treating her like the witch for all of the lies she spouted. But will she just like burn? What? So after all of that burning, they just got a simple vehicle to obliterate her. What kind of death is what? Okay. But that was a little bit of a weird extra shot there. It's over. The third execution is over. Death is over. So let's kill all my friends so I can't pity her. But I also can't deny that at one point Okay, Mako, now you're lying. Sorry to say, but you are just you were just blatantly lying here. For him to come along and it's just awful. Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and also, so more people have to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
And here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all embodied with hope, whether you like it or not. It's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad as it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give me a rest already. So anyway, Harko, did I see you get some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey!
What's the deal with that?
What?
What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me? Okay?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh, how exciting.
What do you mean what did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that? Mastermind did something to Kaka's body. What does that mean though?
Hello.
Things are getting a bit awkward here. I think it's time I go out of here.
Well,
You guys can go enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later!
Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed. Oh, there wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey, Kako, Monokuma already mentioned it, but... what's that key that Celeste gave you?
So...
most likely... it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers. Okay? Then that means... so it's probably hidden in there.
Hey!
I suppose sometimes it's easier to miss what's right beneath your nose. Wasn't it? And we better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say that chapter 3 is like done, right? Well, okay, technically it's not done, but that's gonna be it of this video because that was the class trial. So, and I will admit, even though I don't really like the class trial because of like it drags on so much. I think that's mainly what my issue with the class trials are. Whilst I get that the whole trials is like it's trying to put together like a discussion and then put together evidence towards who the murderer is, I do feel like it drags on so much and we just go on into like different tangents and it doesn't get to the point quick enough, or like we keep on like it feels like you're circling around and it feels like where you're trying to get to is like getting further and further away. This is what it feels like to me. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. My head is kind of pounding. Well, I mean, I do have a little bit of a headache, but I'm just glad that the class trial is over, and I wanted to understand why it all happened, and now that I do, I mean, it doesn't really make any of it better, because one, yeah, just don't like Celeste, like whatsoever. Two, I never really liked Hifumi either, so I suppose getting those characters out of the way is... I suppose the way that they wrote those characters was to get them out of the way in this chapter. I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have all enjoyed, and I shall see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.